Hello, my name is Daniela, and today we're going to think a little bit about a grammar structure that can be quite complicated for students to remember and to learn, and that's the conditional sentence. So we're going to look at three of the conditionals, and that's the first, the second, and the third. So let's begin with the first conditional. So the structure of the first conditional is if, and then a present tense, usually present simple, but it could also be present continuous or even present perfect. And then we use future infinitive, usually will, but again we could also use another future tense in this clause. So how do we use it? What does it mean? Well, let's look at our example sentence. Now imagine you're standing, you're looking outside of the window. You're in London, so generally it's grey and cloudy outside. And you say, if it rains this afternoon, we'll stay at home. Am I looking outside of the window? Yes. So am I talking about a real situation or an imaginary situation? Well, it's real, isn't it? So the first conditional refers to real situations. Now, as I look outside of the window, remember it's cloudy, it's grey. So what is the probability that it's going to rain this afternoon, and so we'll stay at home? Is it high or is it low probability? Correct. It's high probability. So we're talking about a real situation which is likely to happen. And very importantly with the first conditional, what time period am I referring to? Well, I've said in this sentence, if it rains this afternoon, we'll stay at home. So I'm talking about the future, but it could also refer to the present. So, by way of review, the first conditional refers to real situations. It's probably going to happen, and it's either in the present or the future. Now let's compare this to the second conditional. So the structure for this one is if plus past simple. We can use the past continuous as well, but we prefer usually, you'll find it in the past simple. In the second clause, we use would plus infinitive. Again, you might change would to another modal verb, but would is the most common. Let's look at an example sentence to see if we can work out the meaning. So we have a teenage boy. He's looking in the mirror, and then he looks outside of the window and sees some other teenagers playing basketball. And he says, if I were taller, I'd play basketball. Is he tall? No. Can he play basketball? No. So, the second conditional is contrary, or contrary means the opposite to reality. It's the opposite of what is true. I am poor, so I say, if I were rich. I am a woman, so I say, if I were a man. It's always the opposite of what is true. So, first conditional is a real situation. Second conditional is unreal. In fact, what is this boy doing when he looks in the mirror? He's using his imagination. He's imagining himself as 1 meter 80. In England we say feet. So 6 foot, for example. So it's imaginary, it's unreal. Another word you will often see in grammar books is hypothetical. Or a bit like a dream. If I were a millionaire, I'd sail around Europe. It's my imagination. Importantly, what time period does this refer to? Well, I'm using the past simple But am I talking about the past? If I were taller, when? Now. I play basketball, when? Now. So, remember, the second conditional uses past tenses but is not about the past. It's also about the present and the future. And this is sometimes where students make mistakes when they think they're talking about past time. It's not, it's about present and future time. Now finally, let's think about the third conditional. So the structure for this is if plus past perfect, would plus have plus past participle. How do we use this structure? Well, let's look at my example. If I had gone to the party, I'd have met Brad Pitt. Did I go to the party? No, I fell asleep. So, did I meet Brad Pitt? Unfortunately not. So like the second conditional, this is also contrary to reality. It's the opposite of what is true. My conditional is positive if I had gone to the party. My reality is negative. I didn't go to the party. It's always the opposite. Again, what am I doing in this sentence? Well, my friend went to the party and is telling me about how wonderful Brad Pitt is. And I'm imagining if I had gone to the party. So like the second conditional, it's hypothetical or imaginary. But when was the party? It was in the past. When would I have met Brad Pitt? Also in the past. So, this conditional is the only conditional which is actually talking about past time. And so because of that, we use the past perfect in this clause and we use would have in the second clause. So, I hope that's helped you understand some of the basic differences between the first, the second and the third conditional. I'll see you for your next lesson.